All right, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. My name's Sam from Google for Education. We're going to give this about 2 or 3 minutes to let a couple more people join. So we will be on the line, but just bear with us for 2 or 3 minutes here. Thank you. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. My name is Sam Canning-Kaplan. I work on the Google for Education team. I support districts in the Northeast as they're implementing G Suite and Chromebooks. We are so happy to have you here today again. So for a quick couple of logistics, if you would like to submit a question, we're going to save some time at the end to go through any questions you might have. If you look below on the YouTube in the details section, there is a link that you can click to submit questions via a Google form. You can submit as many questions as you would like. In addition to that, there's also a chat on the right side. That chat will be relayed to me, which we can then answer some questions to. So let's get right to it. So my name is Sam Canning-Kaplan from Google for Education. We want to send a big thank you to the New Hampshire Department of Education for working with us on this. We're going to be sharing a nice series of webinars with you around what's going on in our world and how it relates to you in education. So with that being said, we're now going to jump in and I'm going to go through some slides of what we're going to be talking about today. All right, so I'm going to give this just a moment to load. All right, perfect. And just so everyone knows, we will be sharing these slides with you following this presentation. We'll send an email out to you asking for your feedback, and we'll then share a link to the slides so you can go through these on your own after. So quick updates. So what is Google for Education? Today, we're the #1 selling device in the US and Canada. Over 90 million students and teachers today are using G Suite for Education. 30 million students worldwide are using Chromebooks, and 40 million students and teachers use Google Classroom today. Something that we like to just make sure that all of our users and educators are aware of is every update that we make in the system, whether it's a new feature, a new tool, or new innovation to G Suite and Google for Education, it's based 100% on user feedback. What we're doing is that within every tool, such as Google Classroom, Google Docs, Google Sheets, you can always submit feedback as an educator. We compile that feedback and our product teams look at that on a regular basis, and that's how we decide what to work on. So please continue to submit feedback because your feedback is incredibly important to us. So today we're going to be going through big updates in G Suite, Google Classroom, some Chromebook updates as well, and AR/VR. So first we're just going to start with G Suite and share some big things that we have coming here. So big updates that are going to be coming over the next months are now the ability to collaborate with Microsoft Office. Many districts have staff members using G Suite and Office 365. So what you're going to be able to do is now edit Office files from directly within G Suite. So that's super easy. Another big update here is for our Google Slides users, you can now add audio files directly from Drive. So these are some big updates. There's going to be links in here too that you can click to check out where to find these. In addition, we've had a lot of updates to Google Docs, a lot of these being around indentations, headers, having lots of new updates on that. And today I actually wanted to share a live demo of a feature that many districts don't know about around citations that I think is quite helpful and useful. So what you're going to do here is you have an empty doc. And oftentimes, students are working on their essays, they're working collaboratively in Google Docs, and we wanted to create some easier ways for students to be able to cite right on the spot. So I just want to highlight how this can be done directly within a Google Doc. So if I'm a student, let's say I'm writing about the Roman Empire, and right here is, we'll just imagine this is a sentence. This Explore button at the bottom right, the student could click on this directly. And let's say we're searching for Roman Empire. What you can do directly within a Google Doc, and again, right now, think of me as a student. I could find the source directly that I was writing based upon. This one's Wikipedia, it could be any of these. What they can then do is just click Cite as a footnote, and it will automatically create the citation for the student here at the bottom. This is a really quick and efficient way for students to do this. A question that often comes up when I bring this up is, can you cite and can the student cite in different formats? They can. They can actually select from MLA, APA, and Chicago directly from here. So this is just a quick tip of something that saves an enormous amount of time and helps you as a teacher to standardize the process with your students. That being said, we're going to jump back in here. We've also undergone some amazing updates in terms of Google Forms. We're going to cover a few of these today. The first being the ability to just directly create quizzes directly in Classroom. Our goal there was we wanted to make this as easy as possible for you as a teacher. In addition to this, this is one of the biggest updates that we've had, and this is locked mode. Again, there will be links in here for you to check this out. What locked mode is if you're a school district that's utilizing Chromebooks, and as you're seeing on the right over here, the teacher can actually, in a click of a button, turn on locked mode. So when the students take this assessment via Google Forms, it'll automatically lock down that window for them. So they're not going to be able to leave. They're not going to be able to search on other windows. So it really helps you as a teacher to control this right in the moment. You're not going to have to, reach out to IT to have them do this. This will be turned on for you as a teacher, again, if your students are using Chromebooks. This is called locked mode. You can do a quick search of locked mode in beta if you would like to sign up for the beta yourself, but this will be released for the general audience over the next couple of months. All right, so next, this is just more for IT folks that might be on the line. We've added Google Voice as an add-on subscription. So again, for school districts that are using lots of different tools with G Suite, Chromebooks, G Suite heavily, you can now have our phone service and directly administer that directly from the admin console. So this is just a quick note that I'd like to mention. Another quick update from within Gmail. This is more for our staff members that are using emails on a regular basis. We actually have this scheduled emailing that's now built in directly into the system. What this means is you can schedule for a future time and date for that email to send, which can actually save you a lot of time having to send that in the next morning. Other quick updates just in terms of G Suite. Hangouts and chat, big changes coming there. Hangouts chat, we're going to be updating that in Gmail on the new version, which is called New Hangouts Chat. And also within Hangouts Meet, for those that are using this for meetings, which we're doing right now, you can actually click a button and it will now do live citations right on the spot. So based directly upon what I'm saying. In this deck and the slides that are going to be sent to you, there's a note on the bottom of this particular slide on how to utilize those captions in an effective way with parent-teacher conferences and things like that. So again, I wanted to make a big sort of announcement here in terms of accessibility. We often get a lot of questions around this at Google for Education. This is one of our biggest focuses for the next upcoming years, just improving our accessibility tools within Google for Education. We believe that our tools should be accessible for all of our users based upon whatever makes meeting our users in an effective manner. And that's why we've had a lot of innovations around this. One of the biggest ones that we just announced is closed captioning in Google Slides. So I'm going to do a live demo on the spot here. So I'm the teacher and I'm presenting. I'm going to click this closed caption button. And as I'm talking, I think I'm going to have the audio set up here, so this might not work in the moment. I'll send you a live demo of this. There's a video in this. But basically, on the spot, it will do live closed captions of what you're talking about. So I think that's pretty cool. And this will actually allow your students, maybe they're learning English as a second language, or you have students that are learning to read, this allows them on the spot to follow along as you're speaking. We're also adding, lots of alternate ways to input, whether it's dictation into any field, keyboard and mouse settings, and G Suite voice typing, editing, and formatting. Where I see the G Suite voice typing become quite effective is I've often seen this used even for students just brainstorming their ideas. So maybe they're in a Google Doc and they're using their voice to write up their thoughts and brainstorm ideas for what they're going to write their essay on, for an example. They can then compile that and turn that into an essay as a great starting point. That's a great effective way to do that. All right. Also, lots of other things coming. So, we have Select to Speak, Chromevox Screen Reader, which is a built-in screen reader, which is really effective. We have Braille support as well. So now shifting gears, we're going to jump into Google Classroom and some quick updates that we have in that world. And again, pausing here, if anyone is having any questions as we are going through this, or you want me to reiterate something or take a deeper dive at the end, again, at the bottom of the link in this YouTube live area, you're going to see a link to a Google form. In that Google form, you can submit any questions you would like, or in the chat as well. All right. Another big update was the Classroom. In Classroom, the grading tool. What this is this allows you to quickly provide actionable feedback to your students. If you search for the new grading tool within Google Classroom, this allows you to create a comment bank, for example, that you could then quickly reuse those commonly used feedback to share you an enormous amount of time. The end goal is, as a teacher, we want to make this as easy as possible for you to submit that feedback, and I think this is a really effective way to do that. Moving on, again, as we talked about feedback, as many of you saw this year, we had many updates in terms of Classroom, and it was one of the biggest facelifts that we've given it in years. And oftentimes when we're releasing these new updates, people like some things and they don't like others. One of the biggest feedback that we got from our end users was they wanted an easier way to move the units to the top. So we actually now have drag and drop, and we've released this ability to just click, at the click of a button, it'll move that post directly to the top. Again, based on your feedback and saving you time. Another big update, and again, there's a link here at the bottom, and this will be shared with you as well, is a gradebook beta. More and more districts are using Google Classroom as a way to assign work to students and then evaluate that student work. So we've actually introduced a new beta of a gradebook to enable teachers to keep better track of the grades on these assignments, and it allows you to create this in a more organized way. This includes, average grades, weighted average, or total point based, and setting up weighted categories as well. So this is something that we're going to be expanding upon heavily. Highly recommend signing up for the beta if that's of interest to you. So now getting into a couple more aspects. We have coming very soon the Chromebook App Hub. What this is districts and teachers are often looking for a destination where they could search for new types of content, new apps that are coming out. So we created this App Hub, which is a place where educators and developers can work together to find relevant sort of centerpieces here. So in the App Hub, you can search for different apps, look for great updates, and it's a great place to just sort of spark off ideas and take a dive there. So again, Chromebook App Hub, highly recommend checking that out. All right, many districts at Google for Education, we do a great job of creating tools, and we often do not do a great job of communicating those to districts. So I wanted to talk about a new core service that's included in G Suite and Google for Education. This is called Jamboard. Jamboard was sparked as a hardware, so it's a large board that you can use. But what I want to focus on here for educators is the actual free app itself that you can utilize with your students today. What this is more of like a collaborative brainstorming space. We're going to dive into it ourselves, where you can have multiple students at a time jumping into this, sharing ideas, sharing images, and I'm going to do a quick demo of some of its core features right now. So bear with me here. I'm going to open up. There's two examples of this. You can open it via the app, or you can do the web-based version as well. So right now, I am a teacher. I would create a jam, And I'm on a touchscreen Chromebook doing this. And we're going to send links. I'm getting all the questions. We'll go through these in just a moment. So I'm in the Jam app. What you would do is you as the teacher could have this projected on your whiteboard or projected on your smartboard, and the students could join directly from their Chromebooks and everyone can collaborate together. A couple examples of things that you can do. I'm on a touchscreen Chromebook right now. The students could add quick notes. So maybe I have one student adding this. All of this can be moved around, made bigger. Maybe you have another student that wants to add a image. They can do a quick image search, Roman Empire. They can find images directly from our image search, add it in. So this becomes like a focus board where many different people are collaborating and adding ideas. So I think that's really cool. There's other built-in kind of fun functionalities. One of them being auto draw. What this is great is, again, I'm on a touchscreen Chromebook. I'm a terrible drawer. And let's say I'm trying to draw a lion. It doesn't look anything like a lion. It recognizes at the bottom what I'm doing. And again, that's based on artificial intelligence and machine learning. And this is allowing me to just add that right away. So again, lots of cool things with Jam. I highly recommend utilizing this with your students. This is a core service, and we definitely recommend checking that out with your students. So with that being said, I'm going to jump back into the presentation. Give us just a moment here. So we are going to quickly... I have a question around scheduling emails. Does schedule email have to be enabled in the admin panel? I don't currently see it. That it does. I can follow up with that within the deck as well. I have another question: is closed captioning in Google Slides only available in synchronous communication? Today it's done, and it would only be picking up the initial teacher, whoever is speaking directly into the mic. It's not going to be able to separate out based on different users. But on the Google Hangouts Meet version, it can actually separate out. But it's just a good tool. I highly recommend it where you have a large population of students that are learning how to read or learning English as a second language. It provides a great way for them to follow up on what you are saying. And I'm getting something around color themes. Will there be the ability to change theme colors in Classroom? The all-white background, hard to read for some students. A darker background option would be helpful. This is great feedback, and we've heard that quite a bit recently. I highly recommend submitting that feedback directly in Google Classroom so it's documented with our team. It's something that we're focusing on because we want to make sure that with all these updates, things are still accessible and easy to read. And I'm gonna, since we're on the track of Classroom, I'm gonna dive into this one quickly too. Are there plans for Classroom to become LTI compliant to integrate other tools? Today, there is not a set date or plan on that, but that is something that we've heard a ton of feedback on and something that we are placing a lot of focus on. We're gonna have some very big updates in terms of Google Classroom and sort of where we see that going over the summer. So definitely look forward to that. All right, perfect. So we are going to keep moving here. And we have a question on Jamboard. Someone saw a demo of the Jam app, and at that time, they needed a touch Chromebook for many of the features. For many of the teachers, if you're actually drawing, you would need it. But today, we're making it much more accessible. So for the things like adding an image or typing something out or adding notes, you would not need a touch Chromebook. So that's definitely not a requirement. Highly recommend checking that out and playing with it with your current environment. All right, so we're going to keep moving here. Wanted to share some big updates on AR and VR. Let's dive into this. So for those that aren't aware, Expeditions is one of our most popular tools available. Highly recommend looking at Expeditions if you've never used it before. What you can do in Expeditions is actually lead your students on a virtual tour of different places along the globe. So whether that's historical sites or whether that is through Street View, lots of different places that you can take your students via Expeditions. This can be done often by taking students on a tour via a Chromebook or, of course, via Google Cardboard or with AR or VR sets as well. Some big updates that I want to share with this, just for districts that might not be aware, is we actually created something called Tour Creator. What this allows you as a teacher to do is to create your own VR tools using imagery from Google Street View or your own 360 degree photos. This gives you a nice couple of different options. I've also seen this used in a clever way where teachers will often ask the students to create a tour of maybe a significant vacation they went on or something of historical relevance to them. So you can actually have your students create their own tours and then lead the other students through those tours as a really enhanced and interesting way to utilize technology in the classroom. All right. We're going to save some time for some more questions. Another place I wanted to just quickly note is Poly. Again, we understand at Google that teachers, you're all incredibly busy and educators are very, very busy. So we wanted to create a world where you could search for and find other examples that other staff and other educators have created. And that's why we created something called Poly. There will be links in this site, but I just want to quickly show you a live demo. So Poly, as an educator, this allows you to look for different, 3D images or created tours that other educators had created. So this, for example, maybe you want to, take your students on a quick tour here. You can search Poly for different types of tours or different things that you would like to show them. These are created by other educators, so you can check these out before actually sharing these with your students. If you find something you like, all you would have to do down here is click there, share it to Expeditions, and then you could guide a tour with your students on the spot. So jumping back into our presentation. And I see the additional questions. We're going to get to those towards the end. We also wanted to share some additional updates on some of the programs and professional development that we have available here at Google for Education. And I first wanted to cover one of our curriculum that we are the most excited about. And this, for those that are not familiar, is called Applied Digital Skills. And I'm going to go into why we did that. So we're often asking, what are the skills of the future when we're working with our students? So what we did at Google is we actually worked with the Economist Group, and we surveyed top universities, top Fortune 500 businesses across the globe, business leaders across the globe, and asked those leaders, what are the skills of the future? What are you looking for in future employees? Because we think this is very relevant as educators. How do we prepare our students for the future? And surprisingly enough, the top skills that we need in the workplace, top 5, problem solving, teamworking, communications, critical thinking, and creativity. Oftentimes when we're talking about technology, we think that we need to teach a student how to use a particular application or how to learn how to code in a specific language. Something that we noticed from this research was that much more of these are around collaboration, working together, thinking critically. So that's why we actually developed this next curriculum. What it is it's called Applied Digital Skills. What this does is and again, we'll have a link for this here that you can then utilize yourself. What this is it's project-based learning, video curriculum. It is 100% free to all of our districts. There will never be a charge for this. It's project-based learning that teaches students these core digital skills like coding, data visualization, website publishing, things that they will use throughout their careers and throughout their lives, while also teaching them important practical life skills like the 4 C's, budgeting, research, communication. So lots of these different key core things that will be helpful for them. We're going to go back to the questions in a moment. These are also aligned with state standards. We have this ISTE seal of alignment within Applied Digital Skills. We're also aligning this with core standards within each individual state. I'm going to give a very quick demo since we have a couple of minutes here of what Applied Digital Skills looks like. All right. So for those that want to follow along, we have a website and a free curriculum that we've created called, again, Applied Digital Skills. And what this is a large collection of content that you can now use with your students. So for example, on this site, I clicked on curriculum. You would use your G Suite logins to sign in. If you're a staff member or a teacher, you would sign in as a teacher, and you would then share a code with your students to have them join. So you can filter here first by audience. This was developed for late elementary, middle school, and high school. There's also some adult learner content in here. So you can filter by the audience. You can filter by the G Suite tool that they would use. You can even filter by topics. We also added the state standards, as we mentioned. We're adding them by more and more states every day. For New Hampshire, we've actually added quite a few standards here. I'm just going to randomly select 10th grade. And this would have the computer science standards. You could select an individual standard, so algorithms and programming, computing systems, and it will actually filter by all of the content that aligns with that particular standard. So that's really powerful for, again, New Hampshire educators, because we're aligning all of these with different standards in your state. That being said, I want to actually give you an example of what some of these look like. So I'm going to select one of these events. And when you're looking at these different topics, it'll give you an estimate as a teacher for how long this will be. So this will be about 2 to 5 hours. So you can figure out how to plan that and filter that into your different classes. If you actually click over here, it'll show you the different tools that are going to be used by the student: docs, search, sheets, sites, slides. And I'm actually going to click now into this. So this is Technology's Role in Current Events. Again, this is all project-based learning, and it gives the students short videos to watch, and then we provide them with tons of templates, which is very cool. From an educator perspective, we give you lots of scoping documents. So on the left side, again, gives you the time to complete, gives you the target audience, tools that will be used. We've also fully built out lesson plans for you. So what this will be, it'll give you all of the learning objectives, materials that will be needed from a student perspective, lesson outlines with a lot more detail in there as well. We provide you with assessments, tips, and then much deeper dives into each of the individual lessons within this overall topic. So again, very detailed things here for you to look at as a teacher to decide where this might fit and in what grade levels and in what subject levels. I'm going to jump back in here, and we're actually going to go through a quick example together. So again, the students would log in, so it could be tracked, and so that you could track their progress. These can also be shared in Google Classroom, which I'll show you in just a moment. But the students would watch through these videos. This is introducing the project. It would then introduce them the topics that they're going to do for this project-based learning. And then from there, this is how this actually works and becomes collaborative and is actually creating a document here. So in this example, is Technology's Role in Current Events. The student is going to select, are they working by themselves or as a group? I'm going to say by myself for this example. We're now going to provide them with some curated topics that they can use for this project and things that they can research. So citizen journalism, how technology affects jobs and work, technology and natural disasters. So lots of different interesting topics here. The student could, of course, add their own topic if they wanted, and you as a teacher could then approve that or disapprove. And once you've actually selected one, let's say the student wants to choose this one. As I'm selecting this, social media and gender equality, it's actually going to provide me as a student with example exploration questions that I could do for this project. It'll give me example search terms, so helping me to search in a more effective and smart way. We'll even provide the students with sources that we've vetted and are a great source for places where they can, research this in more depth. Once I've done this, I would decide what is my exploration question. I'm just going to write a test for this. And as I've done this, it now compiles this all into a doc. The student would create a Google Doc, copy this over, and then submit their end project over to you. This is just one example of something that's available in Applied Digital Skills. There's lots of collections here. We recently launched an online safety and digital well-being curriculum via Applied Digital Skills. So this is if you're looking to work with middle school and high school students on online safety or, again, digital well-being, which is a very important topic today. This is a great place to do that. So one of the examples, build healthy digital habits. So teaching kids how to do this in a really effective way. Creating a responsible blog with Google Sites, avoiding online scams, evaluate credibility of online sources. So again, that's around fake news and making sure the students know how to check and see if something is credible or not. So lots of examples here. I could spend a whole other hour on Applied Digital Skills, but I wanted to make sure that you had some info on that. Again, there will be links in the deck that will be shared out with you. So we're going to jump back over here. And I'm happy I'm getting some good feedback. People are excited about applied digital skills. We're very happy that you'll find a use for that. That's very cool for us. So another quick example, CS First. Many districts, again, at Google, we have tons of free curriculum options available. This was something that we created called CS First. Many districts have heard of this, some have not. Again, we don't always do the best job at Google of communicating our new tools, so we want to make sure that you know about this in New Hampshire. So CS First, what this is this is an online curriculum for teaching students how to code. It's primarily focused at elementary. We're going to take a quick jump over to CS First as well for a live demo. So this is really targeting elementary and early middle school. And what it's doing is utilizing Scratch, which is, again, very common block coding style that was developed by MIT. It's a great form of coding to teach students the foundation. So just diving into the curriculum itself, again, we're targeting saying 9 to 14 is best, but again, you can go a little younger or a little older, of course. So when we created this, the thought process was we wanted to create a curriculum where you could teach this as an educator without having any background in computer science. So the way that we've done that is we provide you with extensive examples of how to implement this, all of the objectives and outcomes. We give you an example, like let's say the internet goes out, what can you do as an offline activity guide? Because again, in education, things happen, as we know. So this is great. It gives you like different standards that it's aligned with. But these are very cool. I'll just give you a quick example of what one looks like. So students are watching lots of videos here. And it's actually very similar to Applied Digital Skills in the way that it's set up with lots of videos. Just going to click next. And an example here is the students are going to utilize Scratch to create a HiSeas starter project. It gives them step-by-step instructions via this video. The students here, again, it's block coding, brings them right here, utilizing Scratch. And they're actually able to just, bring in different sounds, different activities, different variables into here. And then they can, of course, test it out. So this gives you a really cool way to teach younger students how to code and give them their foundational framework. And I highly suggest districts take a look at this. All right, so from that being said, last but not least, in terms of curriculum, I know we've talked about a lot today. I wanted to talk about Be Internet Awesome. What this is this is an online safety and digital citizenship curriculum that we've developed for younger students. I'm going to jump in right now. Again, you'll have links to all of this content, so I know it's a lot to cover today. So with Be Internet Awesome, as we had talked about via Applied Digital Skills, there's a curriculum there for online safety with older students. This is around getting that at a foundational framework for those younger students so they can learn to be good digital citizens as they're utilizing the internet and utilizing different online technology. That being said, what this is, I'm going to give you a quick example here. Number one, this is, it has the ISTE seal of alignment, and it's aligned with ISTE standards. So this has been heavily vetted. And there's just two parts to this. The first being a fully built out curriculum that you can utilize with your students. It's available in English and Spanish. The curriculum itself, Be Internet Awesome, covers foundations. So it's be smart, be alert, be internet strong, be kind, be brave. So these are the core tenets of what Be Internet Awesome is. In this curriculum guide, we actually provide you with full documentation of how to teach this to your students. So again, each of these tenets are, represent the different themes that we talked about. So share with care. These lessons, will teach students how to share and be safe on the internet. So I'll give you an example right here. So it gives you all the different activities, gives you the themes, the end goals for the students, the standards that are addressed, gives you some quick vocabulary, and then these will be the different activities. So there'll be things that you can work on directly with your students, such as like making up a secret, telling their partners, and it's learning about how these fictional secrets and how quickly things can spread. So that's a good thing to know. So again, this is a fully built out curriculum. Highly recommend using it. For those that utilize Google Slides, we built out the full curriculum into Google Slides as well. And those can be integrated directly with Pear Deck, which is another cool tool I recommend. So this curriculum, you have the full curriculum documentation. It's available in slides. So we make this very easy to implement. I wanted to also show, this is two tenets. So first, you're teaching the students in class. The other aspect is something called Interland. We're going to jump into that right now. So what this is we wanted to reiterate with the students what they're learning in the class as they're going through these different curriculum and different lessons. We want to provide a fun place where we can reinforce these topics and themes that they're learning to be good digital citizens and to be safe in an online world. So what this is we created this cute little land called Interland. Does not require a login to use, so young students can use this without having to log into any sort of a G Suite account. And there'll be different worlds as we learned before. So Reality River, which is, again, don't fall for fake. So they'll jump in here. There'll be this cute little character. They'll get to explore the different areas. And again, it reinforces what they're learning with the Be Internet Awesome curriculum. Highly recommend checking this out. Great for media specialists, librarians. This can be placed in a number of different areas. And again, this is ideally for elementary and middle school students. All right. Diving back in. The last thing that I wanted to make sure everyone is aware of is the Teacher Center. Many school districts have no idea this even exists, and we've invested a lot of time into creating a center that's explicitly for teachers for you to find all of the resources that you need. So we're going to actually dive into that today too. There will be links again in the deck that's sent out to you so you can explore this on your own too. So the Teacher Center. This is a wonderful resource area where you as a teacher can find things that will help you to utilize G Suite and Google tools in your classroom. A couple examples here. We have some guided training paths, which I'll jump into in just a moment. One of the big things I like to focus on is many school districts, you'll have teachers that are using some Google tools, but want to learn more just as sort of a initial step in. And that's why we've created the first day trainings. These are great for a teacher that wants to learn how to use Google Classroom, but doesn't have any foundational background in it. You can go through this. It's a learning path. It's self-paced. It's a great way to learn and get a nice foundation for how to utilize that in an effective way. Other things, first day of Google Forms, first day of Jamboard. We're going to have many more coming soon. So those are the first day. Other things that if you scroll down again, I'm just on the training tab here. Devices training. So maybe you're using Chromebooks with your students and you want to have some better background on how to utilize those in a better way. Maybe you're interested in teaching coding with CS First, the curriculum we just talked about. This is a training for you as a teacher on how to use that and how to do that in an effective way. Teaching applied digital skills. We just talked about that. This is, again, an effective way to teach that in an effective manner. Digital citizenship and safety course. So this will teach you how, again, stay safe online, how to teach that to your students, and how to do that effectively. And then tools for diverse learners. As we're talking about accessibility, we want to provide you with teachers the best ways and best practices for how to do that. Highly recommend as an educator going through this quick training. Tools for diverse learners. It teaches you about all the accessibility features in Chromebooks and how to utilize this with different students with different diverse learning abilities. And again, down here, as we keep going, support English language learners. It gives you best practices utilizing Google translation tools to support students in different functionalities within our tools that are available. All right, so those are just a couple of the trainings here. Other thing to note, we highly recommend if you're a teacher and you want to be level 1 or level 2 certified, what these are trainings where you as an educator will get that seal from Google saying that you are level 1 certified or you are level 2 certified. We have free trainings available on the site. It's all self-paced. So you can watch these videos, go through each of these units on your own. And then there is a certification that you can then take at a very small price to then get that badge and be accredited with that level 1 and or level 2 certification. All right, so those are just a few things. Other things on the Teacher Center, there's this nice resource area. Maybe you want to do a quick search for something. Maybe I'm utilizing Google Sheets. You can just search for Google Sheets in here, and you'll be provided with lots of resources here. So speech marking form, Google Forms cheat sheet. So like you'll get lots of relevant resources that are searching across all of our resources available in the Teacher Center to find some other cool things that might be helpful for you. So with that being said, that's all we have for updates today. There's another free tool if you'd like that you can look for in the Play Store. And what this is a free in-app G Suite training. This is owned by Google. Highly recommend if you are in IT or in the tech department, implementing this and pushing this out to your students. To your teachers and your students. What this does is as you're utilizing Google Calendar or Google Sheets or Google Docs, you'll get live on the spot trainings on how to do different things in an interactive way. So we're trying to meet you in different ways. So that being said, I'm going to answer a couple questions that we have here, and let's go from there. And again, if you'd like to add a quick additional question now, you can add it in the link that's below. That will be a link to a Google form to submit any other questions. So I have a question. Can all tours in Poly be shared with the Expeditions app? So I'm going to go into here. There's going to be a couple different differentiated types of content within Poly. There will be tours, which will, here, I'll give you an example here. So if it says scenes, it's something that can be directly shared into the Expeditions app. Some of these are actually like 3D creations that people have created. So this one, for example, this cannot, because this is going to be like a 3D image, which we're going to get to in just a moment. Bear with us. So this is, somebody created this. It's a cool like 3D, image that someone created. Really cool, really fun. Something like this cannot be shared into Expeditions because it's not like a tour. But if we go back into the Poly area, anything that says scenes can be shared. You can also search up here for a specific topic. Like we can go for Greece, and you'll get all the different content that relates to Greece, ancient Greece, Cyprus. So lots of different examples here. But again, if it says scenes, it can be shared. If it does not, it can't. So that's that. Will there be increased accessibility in Google Sites? The answer is yes. It is, again, a top priority for us at Google for Education. So we're going to be including lots of new accessibility features amongst all of our tools, continuing to add accessibility features in Chromebooks. This is an area that we've gotten a lot of feedback on, and we want to continue to innovate and be leaders on. So you'll be seeing lots of updates across all of our tools. And I'm also getting another question. Can you send a link or instructions on how to create a quiz? I would be happy to do that. There's two ways, one being directly from Google Forms, the other one from creating a quiz directly in Classroom. I'll make sure to add that to the deck, so there's a link on how to do that. Thank you. I'm getting another one. Citation creator, send email at future time, etc. don't work. The citation creator should be included for everyone if you have the Explorer on. I'll walk you through how you would do that again. Quick tip, if you ever want to create a new Google Doc without having to go and click through, you can just click docs.new, slides.new, sheets.new, and it'll automatically create a fresh Google Doc. The citations should be available via this Explore button. Again, you click that there. I would then, again, I'm the student, I've typed something out, test, search your docs in the web. I'm just going to search over here again. I'm going to do this one more time. There's this button down here that says Explore. You click the Explore button. I'm going to search Roman Empire. I would go over here to the web. And then once you've found one of these that looks relevant to you, all you have to do is click that citation. It'll automatically add the citation in the footnote. If you can also change to APA or Chicago. If that particular person that submitted that, if it's still not working for you, just please submit another question via the form, put your email address, and we'll follow up with you. And I have no other questions from the group. So with that being said, I want to thank everyone so much for joining us today. We're going to be having a couple more of these webinars throughout the year. The goal is to make sure that as educators throughout New Hampshire, you're getting lots of updates in the world of Google for Education. So we thank you so much for spending some time with us today and joining us. Again, I will be sharing the docs out. I'll be sharing the slides out, and you'll get a confirmation email as well, where we would love your feedback on this webinar and love suggestions from you on how we can improve this going forward. So with that being said, thank you all very much. Again, my name is Sam Candy Kaplan from Google for Education, and have a great day. Thanks.